Hello and welcome back to math class. As you can see on the screen, we are going to continue working with solving equations. You've been working on equations for the past couple days. We've done some one-step and some two-step equations. So today we're going to continue working and practicing with equations. So as you can see, I'm writing down our first equation. What we're going to do is I'm going to do an equation and you're going to copy it down in your notes. And then I'm going to ask you to solve one on your own and see how you do. So if you recall, the first thing we do when we're solving equations is we have to find the variable. And our variable, as you can see, is right here. It's an x. We find our balance, and we've been circling it just to kind of give us a visual. We will notice that on this side of our balance, we have the variable x. There is a 3 and a 5 with it, and we need to get rid of those. We've been doing what we call opposite operations or inverse. So we're going to do the opposite of adding 5 so we can get rid of it. The opposite would be a minus 5. And then you recall whatever we do on one side of the balance, we're going to go ahead and do on the other side of our balance. We'll make a new line so that we can start a new problem. We've talked about how opposite operations cancel each other out. So an adding or addition of 5 and a subtraction of 5 will cancel, leaving 3x. Bring down our balance. 17 minus 5, if we solve that, we have the answer of 12. All right, here's our variable once again. It is multiplying with the 3. The opposite of multiplying with 3 would be to divide by 3. Obviously, whatever we do on this side of the balance, we're going to come over here and do it with this side as well. 3 divided by 3 will cancel because those are opposite operations. And we have the letter x. And what does the x equal? 12 divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 happens to be the answer 4. And we will box or circle our final answer. Now I can always check my answer to see if it's correct by rewriting my problem right here. And I could substitute 4 in for x right here, like this. Let's see, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 5, it does equal 17. Look at that. And those two are equal. I guess I should leave a 17 right there as well. All right, so what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to solve the next problem on your own. I'm going to set it up the same way. Okay, the problem I would like for you to solve in your notes is 4 times x plus 3 equals 19. I want to see if you can work your way down, find what x equals. Go ahead and pause your video, so that gives you plenty of time to work at your own speed. Did you pause your video? All right, so everyone should be finished since they paused their video. If you didn't finish, pause your video so that you can practice on your own. We find our balance. We notice that the variable x is right over here. It's not by itself. It has the 4 and the 3. We are going to get rid of the 3 first. Opposite of plus 3, you should have done as a minus 3 on this side and a minus 3 on this side. Opposite operations cancel, leaving 4x equals 19 minus 3 happens to be 16. Here's our variable x. It's multiplying by 3. Multiplying by 4. The opposite of multiply is to divide by 4 on this side. And then hopefully you came over here and you divided by 4 on this side. Fours cancel, leaving x equals 16 divided by 4 is 4. Oh, look at that. Same answer as we got up here. All right, if you wanted to check it, some of you I think did check it. You went ahead and you wrote this problem down. You substituted your answer 4 in here. Now, if you didn't do this, that's fine. 4 times 4 is 16. What is 16 plus 3? Oh, it does equal 19. So guess what? We solved this correctly. Okay, the nice thing with the video lesson is that you can pause it so that way you can get things written down before unpausing. All right, well, let's try another challenging problem. This time I would like for you to write 9 equals 3 plus x divided by 4. All right, once again, we're going to do this one together, and then I'm going to ask you to try and solve one on your own. Here's our balance. If I find the variable, it is an x. It is not by itself over here. There's a 3 and a 4. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the 3 first because it's the farthest away from the variable. The opposite, this positive 3 would be to subtract it so we could get rid of it. Because this is a positive 3, sometimes people will put a plus here to help them understand. So whatever I do on this side, I'm going to have to go over here and do on this side. And I'm going to draw a line so that I can solve my problem. I have 9 minus 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. Bring down my balance. Opposite operations will cancel. And what do I have left? I have left a positive x divided by 4. X divided by 4. Well, here's my balance still. I've got a dividing by 4. What is the opposite of dividing by 4? The opposite of dividing would be, multiply. Multiply by 4. The rule is whatever I do to this side, I have to come over here and I have to do to this side. This one's a little more challenging. All right, well, opposite operations, dividing by 4 and multiplying by 4, cancel, leaving the letter x. On this side, let's see, 4 minus 6 happens to be 24. So my answer is x equals 24. All right, so I'm going to ask you to go ahead and see if you can solve a problem that's almost identical to this one, except I'm going to write it this way here. Let's see, we're going to have 12 equals 8 plus x divided by 3. All right, if you would, please go ahead and pause your video and see if you can solve my problem, which looks very similar to this one over here. All right, so if you're not finished, go ahead and keep your video paused until you are. I'm going to go ahead and solve this problem. Here's my balance. The variable x is over here. It is not by itself. It has an 8 and a 3. We're going to get rid of both of them. We're going to get rid of the one that is the farthest away from it, which happens to be the 8. Remember, this is a positive 8. It's a positive 8. So the opposite would be subtract 8 on this side. And we're going to go over here and we're going to subtract 8 on this side. Hopefully my dear line. 12 minus 8 happens to be 4. Bring down my balance. Opposites cancel. And I still have x divided by 3 on this side. I need to get rid of the dividing by 3. Opposite of dividing by 3 would be multiply by 3 on this side and multiply by 3 on this side. Dividing by 3 and multiplying by 3 are opposites, so they cancel each other out. What's left over here looks like it's the letter x, and 4 times 3 is 12. Now, obviously, we've talked about in class that we can actually turn the problem around if you would like to do it like this. These two mean exactly the same thing. Okay, great. We're doing some challenging problems here, and we're actually going to do a few more. So obviously, if you need to turn over your piece of paper or you need to get a new sheet, you can do that. I'm going to turn mine over. And I'm going to give you an equation that looks like this. 3x plus 8 plus 5x equals 32. All right, so if we notice, once again, we find our balance. And once again, if you need to pause your video so you can get the problem written down, please do so. The variable is, we've got two of them. But they're on the same side over here on my balance. So we're going to combine them. Remember, that's called combining like terms. And if you recall, we kind of circled, here's an x, and then we have a 5x, and we're going to circle, remember the operation that's in front of the term. 3x's plus 5x's. That's 8x plus 8. And it's still going to equal 32. Well, if you notice, these problems look very similar to the problems we just did. Once again, here's my balance. There's my variable. It's not by itself. There's an 8 and an 8. We're going to get rid of the one that's the furthest from it right now, which happens to be the positive 8. The opposite of plus 8 would be minus 8 on this side and minus 8 on this side. Make our line for a new problem. Opposites subtract or cancel themselves out, leaving an 8x over here. Bring down my balance. 32 minus 8. Well, it looks like I'm going to need to borrow here. 12 minus 8 is 4. And then bring down the 2. I already know the answer. Opposite multiplying by 8. Opposite would be to divide by 8 on this side. And of course, we come over here and divide by 8 on this side. 8 and 8 over here. Multiplying by 8 and dividing by 8 cancel. Opposite operations will cancel. X. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Our final answer is 3. Okay, this time I'm going to give you a problem and I want to see if you can solve it on your own. It's going to be very similar to the one we just did, except for this time I'm going to put a minus 3x instead of a plus. Oops, so make sure you're subtracting. So go ahead and write the new equation, pause your video, and see if you can solve my problem. All right, if you're not finished with my problem, go ahead and make sure you pause your video so that you can practice, because the only way you're going to learn how to do this is to practice on your own. Find our balance. I've got variables. They're the same variables, so we're going to have to combine them. We're going to combine the variables. I see here I have a 7x and I have a minus 3x. 7x minus 3x is 4x's. Don't forget your plus 2. And then there's our balance, and they're going to equal 26. Once again, here's my balance. I need to get rid of the 4 and the 2. We're going to get rid of the 2. Hopefully you subtracted 2 from this side and from this side. Make my line. If you canceled those out, you should have had 4x left over here. 26 minus 2 should be 24. I guess I can go a little faster with this because you guys already have this done. Here's my balance. Multiplying by 4. The opposite of multiply would be to divide by 4 over here and divide by 4 on the other side of the balance. Opposites cancel, leaving x equals 24 divided by 4 is 6. Very good. All right, so the next couple problems I am going to do with you real quick are one-step problems, and your exit ticket is going to be very similar to these one-step problems. So what I'd like for you to do is sometimes we can write division like this. And so my equation here says x divided by 3 equals 4. Obviously, we're going to do this just like we did earlier. We're going to find the balance. If you would find your balance, we have x divided by 3. The opposite of dividing would be to multiply by 3. The rule is whatever we do on this side of the balance, we have to do on the other side of the balance. Opposite operations, dividing by 3 and multiplying by 3, because those are opposite or inverse operations, we can cancel them. That leaves the letter x, and 4 times 3 happens to equal 12. We can always check our answer by taking this 12 right here and substituting it in. Let's see, 12 divided by 3 is 4. That is correct. All right, well, what I'd like for you to do is solve this one. What if I wrote the problem backwards like this? Backwards meaning my variable's on the right side of the equal sign. Oh, circle your balance. Opposite of dividing by 3, multiplied by 3 on this side, multiplied by 3 on this side. Opposite operations cancel. P equals 20 times 3 would be 60. All right. The final problems I want to show you would be a multiplying problem like this. 6 multiplied by D equals 30. There's my balance. There's my variable. Opposite of multiplying by D, or by 6, I'm sorry, opposite of multiplying would be divide by 6. Whatever I do on this side, you have to do to this side. Opposites cancel. I have the letter D. 30 divided by 6 happens to be 5. Some of you already knew that the answer was 5 because 6 times 5 is 30. You will have one story problem that I'd like for you to do on your exit ticket. Your story problem is going to look something similar to this. It says you paid $12.90 for 6 bags of candy. Write and solve an equation. So you have 2 things you have to do. We have to write and we have to solve it to find how much it costs for 1 bag of candy. So if I had a problem like this, I probably would say, well, I'm paying $12.90. So that's going to go over here. I have 6 bags of candy. So I have 6 bags of candy times how much the price is. So that would be 6x. 6 times x equals $12.90. Then here's my equation. That's step 1. Step 2 is now I have to solve it. Find my balance. Multiplying by 6. Opposite would be divide by 6 here, divide by 6 here. Cancel. X equals, all right, so I need to show $12.90 divided by 6. Hopefully most of you remember how to do your division. Carry my decimal up. It goes in 1, 6. Looks like, if my problem is correct, I have $2.15 per bag of candy. Okay. Good luck on your exit ticket, and I hope you guys all have a great weekend.